Forget slapping random syllables onto a map and calling it done. In this video, we will be even lazier. Tip number 1, be lazy, because everyone in our world sure as heck was. I mean, just think about how much time, effort, energy people had to put into naming places like Big Mountain, White Mountain, the Rocky Mountains, Clear Lake, New Town, Flatlands, Sandy Beach, Big Island, Long Island, Round Island. Whenever you start to think, I just can't come up with a name, I don't know where I'm going to find the inspiration, be lazy. Take the easiest possible route, and your name will sound realistic because the names in our world are lazy. And while we're at it, being lazy, remember that language and place are shaped by geography. The physical world, the mountains, the rivers, the forests, the climate, the wildlife can all play a role in how communities choose to name their surroundings. In many real-world languages, those earliest place names are often simple descriptors. Red Hill, Long River, Sheltered Bay. These labels, forged by necessity and everyday use, helped people navigate and understand landscapes. In your world building, you can follow that same logic to create names that sound realistic. Most cultures start naming places based on what the locals see and experience every day. Significant landforms like mountains, valleys, ridges, cliffs tend to leave their mark on language. A community living in the shadow of a tall peak might call their village High Spire or Undercliff. A people whose territory centers around a vast canyon might choose a word that translates to something like Earth's Gap or Silent Gorge. These names can be simple and direct, or maybe poetic and metaphorical, depending on the culture. Now here's some tips for using landforms in name. First, focus on visibility. If a settlement sits beneath a massive snowy mountain, the name might highlight the whiteness or the shape of the mountain. The more prominent the feature, the more likely it is to appear in local place names. Second, highlight unique terrain. If the region's known for unusual rock formations or geothermal vents or some oddly shaped hills, let that stand out. Maybe a cluster of sharp pillars of stone are called the Needles, and the nearby village is called Needlefoot. And consider directional cues. So many communities name places in relation to each other. A valley settlement might be called North Pass if it's the gateway north. A meadow beyond a rocky barrier might be known as Greenway, marking it as the exit from a stony region. Beyond just geography, you can also look to the weather and the climate because they've often influenced how people think about their environment. A place subject to long, harsh winters might have a name reflecting that, like Frostford or Snow Glen. A region blessed with warm winds might incorporate words meaning breeze or sun into its town names. Seasonal cues can also inform naming. A marsh that floods each spring could be Highwater Fen, and a forest that turns red in autumn could be Redleaf Wood. When using climate and names, embrace those local weather patterns. If a location's near a lake known for morning fog, it could be Mistfall Bay or Fogwood. Also think about seasonal events. A site famous for an annual thaw or a blossom or a migration could reflect that. Maybe Spring Bloom Fields, Thaw Song Crossing. And you can also use subtle hints at hardship or abundance of a place. So a desert could carry a name that suggests the hardship, like Dry Hope or Last Oasis. A fertile delta could have a name like Gold Grain, hinting at the agricultural elements. Beyond geography and climate, you can also look to the flora, fauna, and the landscape of the area. Plants and animals shape how people identify their surroundings, and for communities that are deeply connected to certain species, maybe through mythology or dependence or local pride, those creatures often appear in place names. Forests known for a particular tree could produce names like Oak Ridge, or Cedar Fall. A coastline where seabirds congregate could inspire a place named like Gull Rest or Swan Bay. Or maybe if a region's home to a revered animal, the towns or rivers could carry that animal's name, signaling its significance. Think about the key species. What trees, crops, bird, or fish matter most to local life? And those species are prime candidates for incorporation into place names. Think about cultural significance. If a plant's linked to healing or worship, its name might appear in sacred places like Willow Shrine or Heatherlight Glen. Think about its metaphorical use. So even if an animal doesn't live in an area any longer, the old name might remain. Think out west in the United States. A plains town might be called Bison Run long after the bison went extinct or migrated away. You can also look to the resources, the economy of a place. So people often name places after what they produce or the resources that they rely on. A village famed for pottery clay might bear a name that translates to clay well or red pot. An iron mining camp could be Iron Hollow. A fishing outpost could be Codstrand or Netford. These names serve as a shorthand for what a place offers to locals or travelers. So you can focus on the raw materials. If there's unique raw materials or herbs, you can incorporate those. A mine might be Silver Shore if silver's found near a riverbank, or Dragonroot Falls if a rare root grows by a waterfall. Towns along trade routes might highlight their role through names like Grain Cross at the intersection of wheat caravans, or Tanner's Creek where leather workers thrive. Names could also signal the wealth or poverty of an area. You could have places like Gold Harbor or Scrapfield. The important thing to remember, again, when you find yourself grasping for a name, is that sometimes the most straightforward, the laziest answer is your best answer. These real world examples give you cover. You don't have to reach for some obscure conlang. You don't have to reach for some smashing together of syllables. Instead, you can just pick a lazy name. Guys, I want to thank you again for watching my videos. If you don't know me, I'm working on the procedural map generator. Now, this is a free open source project designed to be a map generator, a world generator, a world builder in a box. And I want to invite you to do 3 things. First, if you like this video, please like and subscribe below. Second, if you have any suggestions for the procedural map generator, anything you want to see in the development of it, please leave a comment below. Third, please try out the generator. I'm always looking for feedback and excited for new users. Thanks again.